Bueno.
Ver acá.
¿Estamos en vivo?
This is football.
Welcome to This is Futbol. Bienvenidos a This is Futbol. Thanks for joining us tonight on this journey with a group of lifelong football friends that I have here joining me. You'll see by all these episodes that we might not agree what happens on the pitch, but we'll definitely have a lot of fiery takes for you guys over the next few months and hopefully over the next few years as we start on this journey with you guys. Every show you'll have the chance to interact with all of us through the comments, and you'll also have the chance to interact with us through social media. As you can see, we have all of our social media accounts there for you. The one thing that will be different than many of the other podcasts that you'll come to know in South Florida is we're going to have every show will have one segment that'll be specifically for our Spanish-speaking audience. And so for that, we're going to go into that really quickly. Queremos agradecer a nuestros compatriotas latinos que nos están siguiendo por todo el mundo y por Miami ahora. Aunque la mayoría del programa será en inglés, queremos que ustedes sepan que vamos a tener por lo menos un segmento por cada episodio que va a estar dedicado a ustedes a hacer todo en español. Así que es importante que nosotros nos sigan en esta aventura con nosotros. Y bueno, la verdad que un gusto compartir con ustedes. Bueno, let's get into it. Let's meet the team. Let's meet the round table. We don't have everybody here with us tonight, but let's go around the table and let's meet everybody. Nico, why don't you start?
What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? I want to start thanking everyone for the support, thanking everyone who has joined. I know that we have a lot of friends and colleagues that are out here today. I wanted to make a brief introduction to each one of us. I guess I'll start off with that. I've been following the sport for quite a long time, originally from Argentina. So we do follow a lot of Argentinian football, but as you can see, I guess on this side right here, right there, Liverpool. There you go. That's my favorite team. So we wanted to start this little project with some friends. So hopefully we get going with a little debate and a little banter pretty soon. So I'm excited.
Nice. All right, Mauro, you're up next.
Ok, yo voy a hablar en español, ¿no? Después, está bien, después cuando sea necesario también puedo hablar en inglés, pero bueno, buenas noches a todos. Muy contento de empezar este nuevo proyecto con todos ustedes. Un abrazo grande a toda la barra que va a ser parte de este programa, así con los seguidores que ya nos están siguiendo, a Camilo, Álvaro, Juan, abrazo, y sé que hay muchos más ahí, pero escriban en los comentarios que está bueno ver quién nos está siguiendo. Y bueno, nada, soy como todos nosotros, apasionado del fútbol, soy futbolista, padre de un futbolista, soy coach, un historiador de este deporte, un apasionado, y nada, estoy casado tuve la suerte de casarme con una señora que no me dice absolutamente nada cada vez que me quiero dedicar mi tiempo al fútbol. Así que, nada, vamos arriba y yo sé que nos vamos a divertir. Paso la palabra para Jonah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonah Andrade, heritage Colombian, so first generation American. Two favorite football teams. Believe it or not, I love European football, but the one team that I always support is from my country, and that's Junior del Barranquilla. So Junior tu Papa for all the followers that are out there. We know that we're just starting this project now, but we hope to continue to grow our followers as the months come and as the years come, as Danny said in the beginning. Like everybody here, we pretty much all played at a decent level of soccer. Some of us played high school soccer. All of us played high school soccer. Some of us played collegiately. I played college up in Illinois. I played a little bit of semi-professional soccer after college. Now I dedicate myself to coaching youth soccer, just like Mauro. So I coach 10 and 11-year-olds up in Parkland Soccer Club. As you guys can see, my jacket right here. So I coach up in Parkland. I've been there for about 5 years. Just like anybody here, huge fan of soccer and football. And now that we have our local team, Inter Miami, I know it's something that all of us here are old enough to remember the Miami Fusion. And having those 10, 12 years where we had no professional football in the community, now to have Inter Miami, it's a huge blessing. But like any soccer fan in any part of the world, we want our team to do the best. And we know it's been a couple hard years. We want to win right away. And as a football fan, you have to understand that it's a journey, to get to the top. So, we're fans of our team no matter what, but I think we're all doing this podcast to educate ourselves and educate the community and, have a little banter here and there. But, we're excited for what this project is going to bring to everybody here. So glad to be part of the team. And I think it's going to be an excellent project. Thank you.
Ever.
So I guess it's my time now. So my name is Ever Hernandez. Obviously, I'm going to go back and forth with English and Spanish. Obviously, Spanish being my forte, even more when I talk about soccer. So I'm also from Uruguay. As right now we're 5. We have 3 guys from Uruguay. I'm very passionate about the sport. Most of the guys here, probably the ones that are watching us now, know me. I'm a different person, totally different person inside the field. So I'm here to talk about, what we discuss every day. So it's love the game. That's what I live for. That's the way I describe myself is everything I do in life. It has, everything that I have. It's because of soccer. So that's it. This is me giving everything to the game. So all I'm going to say is what I believe, what I feel, even if I'm right or wrong, as most of the time. I'm going to say what I think. So aquí estamos y nada, para hablar la verdad que es algo que llevo mucho tiempo, que tengo ganas de hacer, que más lindo que poder hablar con un grupo de amigos y del deporte más hermoso del mundo. Así que nada, felicidades a todos, a los que no están, que probablemente en el próximo programa vamos a estar y nada, y el camino es largo, muchachos, vamos que recién esto comienza hoy, así que hablar un poquitito de fútbol.
Okay. Bueno, gracias a todos. Thank you, guys. So, I'll be the last one. Daniel, most of you might know me as the bad guy from Inter Miami. I've been on a couple podcasts here and there, and also I have some family who's in the industry. But like Ebed and Mauro, I'm from Uruguay, a diehard Uruguay fan. I've given my life to soccer, and this has always been a lifelong dream of mine to be able to talk about the sport that I love and really to share my opinions, whether they're negative or positive, or it doesn't matter. Really, this is just like my friend said, this is just, friendly banter and really to make more friends and talk to you guys about soccer, because that's really what this is about, reaching the masses. And you can see we have people that are coaches, really people that are parents. All of us are parents, and we just care about soccer and advancing soccer in the United States and really in the world, and that's what we care about. So we kind of wanted to go really into the reasons for why we kind of wanted to do it, the show. We kind of already have talked about that a little bit. Really collectively we decided that as a whole, a large part of our lives we've dedicated to football by either playing or coaching, refereeing, some of us, and even playing professionally, some of us. So as a result, like I said, we feel like we have so much more to give back to the game, and we feel like this is our outlet to be able to give back to everybody, hopefully in the world. So Nico's going to talk a little bit about the structure of the show going forward, and then really we want to get into what we're here to talk about is football. So let's get a little bit about the background of the show, and then we'll get into the actual show.
Definitely. So I don't want to take too much time on structure, because I know that we have a lot of topics to talk about today. we want to make it as quick as possible and start debating, start analyzing some stuff. But pretty much the structure for us is going to be just that. We want to come out, we want to give our inputs to the game, give our knowledge to the game, but also, like Danny said, we feel like it's our responsibility to actually, show that we support, local leagues and grassroots, and we actually want to get involved in that, and also with MLS teams, talking about them being able to pitch out, how the league is growing and all that. And of course, international soccer. So the structure is pretty much going to be, we're going to be doing a few lives. We're going to be doing a few lives during the week, talking about just different aspects of the game. And also we might have a little surprise that's going to be coming soon, maybe in a month or so. So we want everyone to stay tuned for that. We will have a few interviews as well, because we know how important it is to the game to reach out to other people that have experience on this. So we're definitely going to have a few surprising guests, as we can say, some surprising guests where I'm going to give out a few hints later on in the show. So let's get going, Danny. Let's start with this. I'm excited.
Get the ball rolling. Estás on mute.
Empezamos bien con el amigo.
Y bueno, empezamos bien del primero, estamos bien. But thank you, Nico. By the way, I just got a text message. I just got a text message from my sources. They just let me know that we actually might have a special guest joining the show a little bit later today. So let's cross our fingers. I can tell you, this guy, he's won a lot of league titles. He's won a lot of league titles.
A lot of league titles, mamita.
Hopefully, we get him on the show later. So,
pero ligas de qué? What kind of leagues are we talking about?
I mean, he said league titles. He said league titles. So let's see.
I said league titles. We'll see who it is.
His resume comes out and says league titles.
And he has a magic left foot. That's all. We all know him. So.
Oh, he's lefty. We got to give him respect.
Bueno.
¿Será Messi? Gareth Bale tenemos ahí. No.
I don't know. Somebody told me that Gareth Bale is playing in the program with the Kendall Golf League. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that's going on.
Shout out to our friends, Kendall Golf League, KGL.
Golf League. Yeah, the Fox, baby. Shout out
to our soon to be sponsors.
There you go. So really, let's get into the show. So what we really wanted to talk about at this point in the show is probably all of our favorite topics: Inter Miami. And really the MLS and what were the top signings in MLS of this transfer period.
Not many.
Exactly, that's what we came to find out. There really wasn't many. So instead of talking about the top 5 signings that we found, we're going to talk about the lack of signings that we found. So let's go around here and talk about what's the reason? Like, why are we seeing this lack of signings in this transfer period, where in prior transfer period we've seen some star players come over from Europe and even from South America?
Vamos. ¿Quién va? Jonah?
I'll go ahead. I mean, I can't go into specifics as far as salary cap. We all know MLS has a salary cap. We have designated players. But I believe the lack of signings, in my opinion, has to do with the amount of money that we shelled out for our top players. So obviously we've invested a lot in our top players. Now we just brought over one of the signings that we can talk about, and it's an interleague. Are we talking about exterior players, or are we talking MLS to MLS players signings?
Overall.
Exterior.
So obviously we brought in Joseph Martinez. I know a lot of us have mixed feelings as far as, is he a good signing? Is he not a good signing? We know that the Joseph Martinez from 2 years ago, and, from 2 to 4 years ago, was an absolute monster in this league. He came in here and pretty much ran the league himself. But we know that we shelled out a lot of money for him. So in my opinion, maybe the amount of money we shelled out for him cost us in signing some, top tier players. I think we should have gone off after a center back. I know a lot of you guys agree as well. I wanted to see a top tier center back. That's something that I've actually been looking for the last 2 years. But
that's what the coach said, that we're going after a top center back.
And that's what we're waiting for. So how long are we going to wait? Hopefully
didn't we get
a couple of days?
Didn't we get rid of best out of the 3 center backs that played last season.
If you can consider Damian Lowe the best,
Damian Lowe?
Damian
Lowe the best.
Out of the three, Mavica and the other guy, I forget his name, but to be honest, out of the 3, I think Lowe was the best.
I agree with you. I agree with you that Damian Lowe was definitely probably our top defender all year.
At least the most consistent.
At
least the most consistent. Yeah,
most consistent.
Definitely.
But we can all go back and watch video, and we can all critique it after the fact. He had some bloopers throughout the year, and I remember towards the end of the season, a couple 1v1s, a couple horrible passes that led to goals. Like I said, we can critique it all day, but at the end of the day, we want to have a center back that is secure, a center back that comes in and can possibly captain the side. And I think it all starts with a center back. Phil Neville, over the course of the last couple of years, has said that we want to be a possession team. And it's funny because I was just looking at it a couple of days ago, and out of the 30 MLS teams, we're 25th as far as possession goes. So yes, we want to be a possession team, but it starts with defenders. And if you don't have a solid 4 and a goalkeeper that can play out of the back, it makes everything a little bit more difficult as far as possession goes.
Yeah, I wanted to go back to what Danny was saying about not mainly focusing it on Inter Miami, but overall in the MLS in general. I feel like the lack of those sexy name signings that we can talk about, where we had in previous seasons, where you had players like Gareth Bale coming, or Chiellini coming, or even Jovinko coming back to the MLS. I feel like the lack of that has a lot to do with having a World Cup in between tournaments. That's a huge factor. For actually teams to actually go out overseas and maybe lure some players to actually come to play in the MLS. And also the fact that is the transfer window just started. The transfer window for the MLS started, I think, or it starts in 2 days. As far as bringing players from overseas, so we're gonna have some time. I think we're gonna have some time, and I think that there's gonna be a lot of names to be involved. Probably not names to be involved during the start of the MLS season, but maybe you'll see some names that are gonna be signed, and they're gonna come in the summertime. So I think that's what's happening right now.
Well, one of the players that I named on a prior podcast earlier in the week, who I think would be a perfect fit for Inter Miami, who would be kind of like that solid defender, that rock in the back, who could captain the team, is Thiago Silva. He's going to be on a free transfer.
Yeah, but Thiago Silva's not gonna move to the MLS. I'm sorry, Danny. I don't think that's gonna happen. Thiago Silva's playing at extremely, and he's also playing at an extreme high level in Chelsea. He's probably Chelsea's best center back this season.
At least.
So that's why I want him.
So I don't think Thiago Silva's a player that maybe we look into him. I guess Inter Miami could look into him, but I don't think they're going to be able to lure. And especially with the high contract that he has, I think he makes like $6-7 million a year, and I don't think Inter Miami has enough these DP spots to actually bring in a guy like that.
I'm hoping that since Beckham just got back, that he sees what we really have. He was like, "Oh my God, I gotta do something." And because since we all heard the name Beckham and being part of the team, and man, the players that we got from Europe, with his connections, we know how important he is in the world of football. So I think that he has to step up in the transfer. He has to get involved a little more and bring more players, man. He's David Beckham. So I know that for me, he wasn't one of the greatest players, but people know.
He had a lethal.
Yeah, but he's one more out of the 100. Out of the we have a list of 100 good players, but I think that he influences. He should bring a little more to the team, like football.
But what else do you want from a guy, like Beckham? Like, okay,
and let's talk about Manchester.
He can have an input on the game, but at the end of the day, is he a sporting director? Is he a person that you think that can negotiate players? I don't think that's the value. I don't think that's the value that David Beckham adds to an Inter Miami team,
but he has
to any
all the
team in general.
To be honest, I think that he could do a little more to influence players and bring them here. I think that he could do it.
Yo creo que David Beckham está en la misma situación que nosotros. Pensaba que se iba a encontrar con otra situación, porque la verdad el speech que tenía él al principio y la motivación que dio y lo que nos hicieron creer no solo de Inter Miami, pero de la liga, y esto fue hace 4 años, hasta ahora no ha pasado absolutamente nada. Desde detalles como el estadio hasta el crecimiento de la liga como tal. Y volviendo al punto de Dani, a mí me parece muy preocupante. Estamos en casi febrero, la liga empieza a finales de marzo, ¿no?
No, ahora,
No,
en un
5 de
mes.
febrero.
Finales de febrero.
25 de febrero.
Finales de febrero, o sea, a ver, por lo menos para un efecto de marketing, un nombre como la gente, ¿no? Vos vas equipo por equipo y no hay ningún nombre, especialmente exterior, que te atraiga.
Pero es que
que
el
diga,
exterior
"Escucha,
abre ahora. El problema es que abre ahora el mercado.
pero
el
otras
exterior.
ligas sí han comprado, sí han existido transfers. La liga mexicana, las ligas sudamericanas están vendiendo Europa. Hemos visto transfers en Europa. Yo no te digo que traigan a Messi y a Suárez. O sea, eso sería ideal, como nos vienen mojando la oreja hace 6 meses.
Sí, hace rato no vienen comiendo a
Es
cuento
más,
con
cuando
eso.
Messi estaba concretado durante el Mundial, me acuerdo que varios de nosotros llamamos a renovar nuestros season tickets y otra vez nos vendieron humo. Pero pucha, ves los jugadores que vienen, no hay uno como la gente. Y mirá que hay jugadores que no te digo, repito, de menos de 5 millones de dólares que perfectamente se podrían traer. Yo no sé cuál es la estrategia, la verdad, de la MLS. La verdad no, me preocupa que no... va a ser esto para mí es una señal más que este año va a seguir siendo lo mismo. O sea, no nos estamos acercando a hacer una top 5 league in the world, ni ahí, ni cerca.
No, pero yo sí creo que la liga como en sí, creo que dio vuelta un poquitito. Hay varios equipos que han renovado su pensamiento, renovado la forma de cómo administrar sus fichajes y no están yendo a buscar esos nombres grandes de jugadores porque muchos han fracasado. Si vos te pones a pensar en los últimos tiempos, trajeron a Frank Lampard, trajeron a Steven Gerrard, trajeron a Pirlo y fueron nombres que eran increíblemente buenos, jugadores world class, en su momento, pero llegaban al punto de su carrera donde eran muy viejos para poder sostener un nivel alto, porque la MLS, muchos jugadores creen que vienen a jugar a una liga que no tiene nivel o una liga que es un poquito inferior en el nivel físico al resto, y la MLS se dan cuenta de que no lo es.
No estoy hablando de traer a un Pirlo, a un Gerrard, yo estoy hablando de un jugador de 23 años.
Pero sí hay. Austin,
hay
muchos
estrellas de las
hacen.
ligas locales. No ha pasado. En este transfer window no ha pasado.
Mauro,
sin ir muy lejos, de
Mauro.
Flamengo, por ejemplo, un titular de Atlético
Pozuelo,
Mineiro.
firmemos a Pozuelo, que fue lo que nos dio chispa la temporada pasada, de mitad de temporada en adelante. ¿Qué estamos esperando? Acabo de ver tengo el roster en el celular de Inter Miami.
No se puede. El Inter Miami tiene un problema que no tiene lugares DP disponibles, entonces no lo pueden fichar a Pozuelo.
Sí,
ese es el gran problema que tienen.
Hasta que no se va Pizarro,
tampoco se va a ir.
Sí, que por ahora no se va a ir, lo veo difícil.
¿No se puede ir a préstamo a otro equipo y liberar el salario? ¿Cómo funciona eso?
No lo quiere nadie.
Es que es el problema, que no lo quiere nadie. Lamentablemente no lo quiere nadie. Pero bueno,
ni California, ni
ahora en
Texas.
México.
Volviendo al tema, yo quería volver al tema de lo que son los fichajes o los posibles fichajes, the possible signings that the MLS could actually make. It goes back to the same thing. You know, there's not a lot of names out in the market right now that are free. Players that you can just sign them up and that's it. You know, the MLS is not the type of league that goes out and gets a player of a high transfer fee. I think the highest transfer fee ever paid might be Thiago Almada or something like that, which it was like 22 million, or maybe Almiron, which was like 23, 24 million. Which,
they
if you compare those numbers,
they paid for Facu Torres. That was a good signing last year.
15.
Over $10 million. That was
correct.
a top player in South America.
How do you compete with other leagues? Like if you go to like Saudi Arabia or if you go to other places where they go on and they pay 30, 40, 50 million for
Brazil,
players.
de Argentina, de Mexico. We're in the US.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that money. I don't know what are the restrictions in MLS that $10 million in the US.
I think that for example, we can take advantage of other teams like Atlanta and Seattle, Austin. We can bring top players, without paying top salaries, because that's what they're doing. I don't think that Facu Torres, Thiago Almada are making more than
but those
2
are
million.
prospects. But those are prospect players.
But you're paying $15 million, an average of $15 million. So obviously, you can bring a player from Europe without a contract, but you're gonna have to pay them more than $5 million a year at least.
Yeah, but you want to know the difference? The difference is that these other teams, Austin and Seattle, are bringing these players that are projects, and they're bringing them at $1 million or less than $1 million. Inter Miami brought projects like Matias Pellegrini and like Julian Carranza, who were both projects, and who Carranza has ended up being a decent MLS player in Philadelphia. But what was the problem? We paid $10 million for Pellegrini, which is ridiculous. He was never worth that. And we paid, I don't know how much for Carranza, and that was the biggest issue with Inter de Miami.
Well, those are mistakes that happen. In a team, it can happen. It's not like you're gonna say all signings are gonna be great, because it's not. That's not the way.
No. Inter es un caso aparte. There's been bad decision tras decision, and are we gonna go when we go into Inter? I have also my opinion, but what else can we say about the whole MLS? I am really disappointed. The most exciting transfers are the players inside transfers, the Joseph Martinez, the Aaron Long. Esos son me parece lo más interesante.
Fafa that signed with Nashville.
See, yeah. And then you had the goalie from NYCFC that's going to Toronto.
Yeah, that was weird.
Sean
right?
Johnson?
Yeah.
No? Yeah,
Sean Johnson went to Toronto. Yeah.
One of the things that intrigued me the most about this past MLS season was actually the MLS final. And if you look at the two teams that played in the MLS Cup, LAFC versus Philadelphia Union, it's funny because LAFC, obviously they have the big signings. They had Carlos Vela from a few years ago. They have Gareth Bale, who now retired. One of, if not the highest salary caps or paying out the most for the whole league. And then you have the Philadelphia Union. When you kind of look around their roster, it's not anything crazy. It's maybe mid-league as far as
they don't have big names. They don't have the big names. They have not one big name that has played in Europe and has made a big
impact. You see who the Union got? Andrés Perea, el mediocampista de Orlando City. That's a decent player. Yes. That's a decent player. Colombia national team.
So I saw that. I think what Jonah was trying to go back into it. I think it was we saw a final with extremely different opponents, where one team focused on bringing those big name players, how they did with Bale, how they did with Carlos Vela, with Chiellini, and the other team, they went completely grassroots. It was a team that went completely grassroots and added pieces from South America, like the midfielder from Venezuela, Martinez, which I think he's a great player. And he was fantastic for Philadelphia last year. Also Julian Carranza, who did absolutely jack in Inter Miami, but he was put in a position. He was
never given good opportunities. He never started fighting. He was put in
a position where he couldn't develop. It was a team that had no path, no road ahead, and he was just put right into it. So he wasn't going to develop into what he is now, which I thought that he was coming when he came from Banfield. I saw him play a few games, and I thought that he was a fantastic signing, but it just didn't happen.
The other thing that Philadelphia had that Inter Miami doesn't have, and then I want to transition into Inter Miami because we've talked a lot about the MLS, and I want to talk about some of the signings that we have in Inter Miami, maybe some of the signings that some of you guys want to see us have now in the transfer window. But just to put the last topic to rest, whatever. Let's just move on to the next topic. Forget about it. Anyways. I forgot what I was gonna say, man. I got too excited to get into Inter Miami.
No, that's fine.
I got too excited to get into Inter Miami.
You got too much hate going on to Inter Miami that you want to talk about.
Every time somebody says Inter Miami, I just get too excited.
The bad thoughts to cover, man.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you actually have that little jersey right there on the side.
I'm trying to see.
You see,
Inter Miami jersey.
Jesus, hey, I'm a big Inter Miami fan, even though I've never been to the stadium to a game. I'm a big fan. So
yo creo que el escudito que tenés ahí atrás te agarró la parte donde te guarda la memoria y te lo borró. El escudito ese chiquitito, que aparte le pusiste chiquitito, te da vergüenza. Te da vergüenza por eso el Nacional ahí tan chiquitito.
Y más hoy.
Hoy perdió con Liverpool.
No, está bien, pero somos el campeón de Uruguay, así que no importa, está bien.
Mauro, pregunta rápido para volver a Inter Miami. Los dos mejores.
Gucci Núñez ya fue Inter Miami, dale.
Perdón, rápido para tirar la solar ahí, por usar esa camiseta, ese escudito chiquitito. Los dos mejores jugadores de Liverpool no están en el Sudamericano Sub-20 ahora y perdieron igual.
Sí, no, el Liverpool tiene un equipazo. Pero eso le importa a nosotros tres nomás.
Sí.
Pará.
Okay.
Para el técnico de Liverpool, ¿de dónde salió?
Acá, ¿qué
No
puedo
importa.
de este Liverpool? ¿De qué estamos hablando? ¿De este Liverpool estamos hablando?
El Liverpool uruguayo.
No hablemos
del único Liverpool que vale. Del único Liverpool que vale.
Get back into Inter Miami talk.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear none of that Uruguayan soccer, bro.
So let's
non-existent. That's non-existent.
No. All right. Let's get back into Inter Miami talk. So let's talk about some of the signings that we've actually heard about so far. Joseph Martinez was one of the big signings. We got Franco Negri from Godoy Cruz in Argentina, Nicolás Stefanelli, who came from the Swedish league, some obscure forward who nobody's ever heard about. But let me tell you, man, in his press conference, I really loved his press conference that he had. I listened to his press conference. I listened to Franco's press conference. And let me tell you, man, I really love the Argentinian blood that we're bringing into this team. I feel like they're going to give us maybe some of that Uruguayan garra that they might need. I don't know. We really need some of that Argentinian Uruguayan blood into this team. And maybe Higuain just wasn't enough. So, those are the bigger signings that we've had. So, what are your guys' opinion on those signings?
I think we're bringing a lot of forwards, and who's going to give the ball to those forwards to score goals? Joseph, and what is he going to do? Bring the ball from half field and take it all the way, or shoot from half field? So I think that we need to bring some creativity to the team, a little more. That's why I'm talking about bringing back Pozuelo, because I really like Pozuelo, even though the money issue.
So what happens is as follows. With the trade that we if you want to call it a trade, that we did with Damian Lowe, what they did is they were able to come up with money for the GAM, which is an allocated spot, so that we can possibly, I guess what they will try to do is bring Gregory a step down from a DP spot to a GAM spot. That way you can liberate a DP spot and give it to Pozuelo. So we're able to sign Pozuelo and at the same time keep Gregory, which is an important player right now, even though personally I don't like his play, but he's an important player to the team because we don't have any other holding midfield.
Es el único que pone ahí un poquito de garra y corazón. Te digo, así no sea el mejor jugador, que pone más garra ahí y testículo, para poder decirlo de una manera prudente, sinceramente. O sea, yo prefiero a eso y no prefiero a otro con el número 13. Empieza empieza con el nombre con U, que la verdad es un comodín y todos los años firma y renueva.
But he's been a MLS grown player for a long time.
Dame la oportunidad, Ascona, ahí, dame un poquito de fútbol, poneme un poquito de fútbol, ese comodín que lo usa para dar hueco nomás. Pero bueno, esa es mi opinión, ¿verdad?
I think going back to what Danny was saying about the newest signings, I think that a lot of people, and I've seen it over, social media and mainly Twitter and all that, where not a lot of people are happy with the Joseph Martinez signing in the team. There's a lot of rumors with people saying that, because he comes from terrible injuries. We don't know how he's going to be able to adapt with that, or he's coming to a city that has a lot of nightlife and this and that. But I feel like he's going to be a good signing for the team, and especially
I think so.
Especially the way they got him. He's coming off. Yeah, he's not coming off his greatest season. He's a 3-time MVP, so you kind of expect big things from him. But at the same time, I feel like how the team went about it, the way that they were able to sign him with a low salary, and able to more or less say, okay, the expectations are for him to say, I guess, like 10, 15 goals in the season. We can say that those are good numbers for him. I think that he's gonna manage to be a good signing for us.
I don't know, but I want to get Mauro's opinion, because as a forward, Mauro as a forward and someone who plays a similar game to how Joseph Martinez plays in real life. I mean, that's how I compare Mauro when you play.
I'm glad we started talking about Joseph Martinez, because it's the only positive I have for Inter Miami so far, and I gotta give it to them. very excited about seeing him play. He's going to be the reason I'm going to drive an hour and a half all the way up there. I always like this guy. Every time I see him live or in a game, I was either against Inter Miami or against Uruguay, and siempre nos clava. And I think he's a fantastic player. I thought he was going to be in Europe by this time, but yeah, his injuries. Now, yeah, of course, he had 1 or 2 knee injuries. But he's not a player. What I'm going to say is like I still have faith that
he had a big injury. He had a big injury where he missed the whole season.
ACL,
he came back from it. He came back from it, and he got re-injured again, and he missed a few games in the season.
Okay, so
yo le atributo eso a la cancha artificial. Acá se va a aburrir hacer goles. Si le ponemos los jugadores correctos para que le den posibilidades de gol, yo creo que se va a aburrir de hacer goles. O sea, yo creo que
por eso es clave volver a traer a Pozuelo. Es clave traerlo a Pozuelo.
Pozuelo
es el único jugador.
Un 10, un creativo.
Somebody
why would you bring somebody else if you already had a player that actually excelled?
Hey, I like Bryce Duke. I think he's a fantastic player, but I don't think that he's a but I don't think he's a player that will, give you what Pozuelo gives you for 90 minutes. Pozuelo and Pozuelo also is not only a 10 that he will give you a pass between 3 players. He can score with the left, with the right. He can take 2 players. Yeah, same as Higuaín. I loved Higuaín, to be honest. I think that Higuaín on the 3/4 de cancha para adelante, he would grab the ball and it was a threat. Every time he had the ball, he would pass a shot from outside. You knew that if Higuaín had it would be a 50-50 possibility of a goal. So and Pozuelo gives you the same thing. Like I said, he could shoot from the right, the left, give you a pass. So Bryce Duke, I think he's an alternative, but I don't think it's that kind of player that will make a difference. At any time of the game. It's just probably a few minutes here and there, and that's it.
Yeah,
para terminar lo de Joseph, o sea, no es un jugador que necesitaba una explosión impresionante, una velocidad. Él es pura calidad, es un juego muy parecido al de Higuaín, un poco parado, un poco buen toque, buen remate con las 2 piernas. Para velocidad tenemos a Lassiter y a los otros guachos que pueden meter.
A Emerson.
Me tengo fe que puedan dar, pero el tema con un 9 es que nunca sabes. Si la mete o no. Capaz que pasa 4 partidos sin meterla y se pierde.
Bueno, Emerson se fue. We just traded him loan to Santos Laguna. Por un año. Así que Emerson ya no va a jugar con el Inter este año. But really, I mean, my whole point on Joseph Martinez is I think that, just like Ever said, to me, playing on the turf, and we know because we played on turf for many years, it really hurts your knees, and it really does do a number on your knees. I'm
at that level. Even I'm guessing that at that level that you have to play with a high intensity the whole game. It's not, for example, when we play now, 11v11. When I go to a 50-50, or if I go like 20 feet before, I'm stopping. Like I'll let the other player get the ball. But at this level, you got to go hard every time. You got to win the ball. So I think that probably that's one of the reasons, right, that these players, because obviously they played at this high intensity the whole game. So, yeah. ¿Qué pasó, Nico? ¿Hizo efecto el mate? No estaba escuchando. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Tuviste que ir al baño? ¿El mate ahí te pegó? Efecto ahí.
No. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I got a nice little important call. I'll tell you guys in a bit.
Well, Fabricio Romalo ahí.
Fabricio Romano. Yeah.
Romalo. Como el jugador de Liverpool. Romalo.
I got a phone call from someone I got a phone call from someone that's really, really deep into Inter Miami. He's watching right now, and he told me a few little details about some signings that Inter Miami wants to make. I'll tell you guys in a bit.
Qué bien. Va, pero danos ahí un pequeño hint.
I'll give you a hint. It's 2 players that are gonna be that are gonna have their contract expired this coming up June. So 2 players.
All right.
If they bring those 2 names to the team, cuidado con el
Mauro renueva season tickets.
Mauro, empezar a renovar hoy los tickets.
Llamá, los nombres, pues te suben el precio. Dale.
Empezar a renovar hoy los nombres.
Well, let's start moving over to the Spanish section of the Spanish segment of the show today, which we're gonna talk about our top five teams, our top 5 teams in Europe.
Are we done with Inter Miami?
We are done with Inter Miami unless
Bueno,
anybody.
si quieres, digo,
no.
Entonces, digo lo que sé, lo que me comentaron recién.
I got one last point on Inter Miami, and that's it. And it could be a quick. We can all pitch in really quick. It'll take less than a minute. Obviously, we brought in Joseph Martinez. He's not coming in to come off the bench. Can we all agree on that? He's coming in to start, right? Absolutely and for all of us that have been Inter Miami fans and watched the team last year, and we can all probably agree that Campana is the guy as well.
Fantastic player.
Great player. So what is the plan, you think, as far as formation goes? You don't see a lot of teams play with 2 strikers nowadays. Is that what we're going to come out? Are we going to switch to a 3-5-2? Are we going to play a 4-4-2?
I'll even throw you this question as well. What does Phil Neville even play? What formation does he even play?
So you tell me.
we don't know that. So it's
I
one
never
of those
seen him play. He never played Campana and Higuain at the same time. I don't think ever. Maybe at
the end, maybe a few games
when we're trying to tie a game,
when we're down, or when we're losing like 4-0 at a game or 3-0 at a game.
Yeah,
but that's a great point. Like you see the lineup that they Inter Miami put yesterday against the scrimmage against San Luis, and maybe the only
what was the result of that game?
Déjame poner el mute. Bueno, ¿cómo se pone para no escuchar el resultado?
4-0, se comieron 4 pepinos. La verdad que
contra un equipo nuevo, ¿no? Que con jugadores recién fichados, que llevan.
No, pero miren el 11 de Inter Miami, es para ponerse a llorar. Calendar, Yedlin, Mavica, McVeigh y Noah Allen. Línea de 4.
Ahí tenés 3 titulares.
Sí. Allen jugó bastante, Allen jugó bastante.
Jerarquía, un jugador mundialista que te la llevo.
You have
no sé
three,
si
you have
tan
three
malo,
starting
pero es un jugador
players.
que tiene, está bien. Y Noah Allen es interesante porque es de la juvenil, pero no sé si tiene su jerarquía, pero banco a Noah Allen. Los dos centrales son...
bueno, pero McVeigh jugó de lateral todo el campeonato casi, de lateral izquierdo.
Pero este año va a tener que jugar de central, si no tenemos otro central.
Sí. A mí me gusta McVeigh, ¿eh?
Pero sí es central.
A mí,
sí,
por eso digo.
Jugó fuera de posición toda la temporada.
Con los 3 centrales, horrible, porque la verdad que el otro, como se llama, el Sailor, ¿cómo es? El otro central.
Ryan Sailor.
Que se dedica a navegar el amigo, porque la verdad que no sé qué ven, la verdad los scouts de nosotros no sé qué ven.
En el medio sigo con el 11.
Dale, perdón.
Gregory, Coco, Taylor, Pizarro.
¿Coco el de la película?
Sí, el Coco. El Coco Yanni. Taylor, Pizarro, Lassiter y Campana. O sea, antes que
un mixto.
Sacando a Yedlin, jugador mundialista, jugador de la selección nacional, está bien. Allen, que es un jugador juvenil, que es exciting para ver un chiquilín de Miami. Y Campana, porque, bueno, Campana demostró que es un buen delantero.
Tiene clase Campana.
El resto me dan ganas.
¿Lo viste el partido, Mauro? ¿Lo viste?
No lo vi, pero...
No hace falta.
¿Me tienen que pagar para un partido con este lineup? Chao.
¿Dónde jugaron, Mauro? ¿En KSP? Porque la verdad que...
No sé dónde jugar. Deben haber jugado en el Inter Miami Facilities.
Sí.
Pero bueno, agregá a Joseph Martínez por ahora y capaz el Franco Negri, que tiene pinta, por lo menos venía jugando en Godoy Cruz. Pero muy pobre.
Going back to what you're saying, and what we heard from Phil Neville talk about the press conference the other day when we were introducing the new players, it's very worrying because he said that we want to have depth and we want to have competition within the team. And when you start looking at those names and you start seeing those players, you're asking yourself, do we really have enough to actually have that competition that they want to have within the team?
Nico, we've had 2 straight seasons of Phil Neville post-game conferences where he stands up there and says, "Yep, we gave it our best today, but we got to go back to work and we're gonna, get back in there and give it our all this week."
What's a coach going to say after? Well, what's a coach going to say after a disappointing result or?
I'm going to resign tomorrow. That's all he has to say.
If you have a coach who's lost the way that he's lost as many times as he's lost over the last 2 seasons, the only thing that he can say is, "Hi guys, I resign." Just like Heather said. That's it.
I don't think I can't go. I'm going to go against you on that, because I think that at the end of the tournament last year, I think that he showed a little bit of what the team could actually do as far as being competitive, as far as being aggressive, as far as taking the game to themselves and being actually, productive on the last third of the game. I think that they were actually pretty good, and the results came in, and they even made playoffs. Everyone had them out. I remember when the season first started, we had like 3 points in the first 10 games or something like that. It was crazy. So I gotta give him a little bit of credit. Let's see how it evolves.
I think he ran out of credits.
Let's see.
What is it, like his third season? This is going to be his fourth season with the team?
This is going to be his third season. Third season
Fourth season for Inter. Remember when we first started? I thought that by now we'll have a team to compete head to head with European clubs and the top of South America. I read the lineup. It's like a USL lineup. I'm sorry. It's depressing.
Bueno, le voy a decir, muchacho. I just spoke to someone. I was on the phone right now. Someone that knows a few directors in Inter Miami. He gave me a few names. He gave me 2 names.
No tire más humo.
They went to see them. They went to see these 2 players in Europe.
Viaja a ver jugadores.
Claro. They were in the Sudamericano Sub-20. They were over there. They were talking to Danny the other day. One of the directors was talking to Danny and sent him a picture.
Yeah, he asked me for some mustard, so I have to. Maybe Mauro can send me some when he goes through the white. Maybe Mauro can send me some mustard.
Well, that he's seen, I don't think, obviously that doesn't say that he's seen the right players.
Confirmado. Tenemos un nuevo central. Confirmadísimo.
That's what we need. One.
Viene de la liga ucraniana. Ese es el único problema, muchachos.
De la liga.
Another talent.
Are they playing? Are they still playing?
Ukrainian player Sergei Krivtsov. Ese es el nuevo
imagino que es un tipo joven con proyección.
Sí, 19 años, 1,90 m.
Jugador de selección.
31 años, jugador de selección, 31 años. Jugó Champions League, tiene experiencia en Champions League, jugó contra el Real Madrid. O sea,
jugador. O sea, el equipo perdió 9-1 contra el Real Madrid, pero jugó
en el Shakhtar Donetsk. O sea que viene un jugador con experiencia. Vamos a ver qué pasa, ¿no?
Another Inter Miami.
That's a confirmed signing.
¿Cómo se llama el otro que se le jugó Shawcross, que jugó 3 partidos y se lesionó 8? Ese tenía experiencia. Premier League.
Pero no Champions.
Yo creo que le faltó el Tuesday Night a Stoke. Eso le faltó normal, tipo que lloviera, frío acá para poder mostrar su verdadero nivel. La humedad lo mató.
Pero bueno, volviendo a ese tema, nuevo jugador del Inter Miami, en las próximas horas lo van a confirmar, el ucraniano Krivtsov.
Why?
Así que ese es el nuevo central.
That's my question. Why? Why are we bringing a random guy from the Swedish league?
Because that's what our coach likes. Our coach likes to watch Scottish leagues, Irish leagues.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. He watches right now. He's watching Ukrainian league to scout. Why are we bringing a Ukrainian guy, 31 years old, that nobody knows? Like what? There's not a marketing effect. There's not an economic project there.
No, because that's what Inter Miami does. They bring players like Coco Jean. They bring players that nobody knows who they are.
Is that a cream?
Nick
Stefanelli. Tampoco maten el equipo, muchachos. ¿Cómo van a matar el equipo? Por favor.
Vamos. Yo no mato a nadie. I just say Inter Miami.
Give the benefit of the doubt. We haven't seen the player.
Hey,
Inter Miami. I'm playing Football Manager.
You know what?
We brought somebody that everybody knows. Blaise Matuidi. What happened there?
He was good, bro. I don't know why they forced him into retirement.
He came with a lot of injuries. That player came with a lot of injuries.
You know what I want to see for the team? I want to see La Playa. I want to see the beach. I want to see the club. I want to see, you know, what everybody loves about Miami. That's what they sold us with the team, and we don't have any of that. You know, they sold the top players, they sold us everything. You know, the stadium, like Mauro said. So, you know, when you see a video of Miami, you know, I travel a lot, and when I see, you know, people they try to get people to Miami, and that's what you see. You know, you see everything.
No,
And
the other
when
thing I
we look
wanna
at the
say-
team, and when we look at our team, we look at, you know, la Pequeña Habana. We look at, you know, so it's, you know, we don't see Miami. You know, we don't see the kind of club that they told us they were going to build for us. You know, we don't see any of that.
Eso
No
viene.
somos un equipo
You can't
grande,
expect,
ya me
you
lo
can't
sé.
expect, but you can expect that, you know, playing in Fort Lauderdale, you know, like
Right,
you
the-
want,
the-
if you want to see that, if you want to see that, you're gonna have to wait.
But
a few
most of the
years.
teams, they don't play at the hot spot. You know, like if you go to MLS stadiums, they don't play right in the middle of the city. You know, that obviously not. We're not like, I think only a few. Seattle Sounders has, you know, the stadium is well placed, and most of the team they have to travel out. You know, when you go to New England, have you been to Gillette Stadium? You got to drive like an hour and a half from Boston. It's yeah, you got to rent a car. You know, maybe a helicopter to get to the stadium.
New York plays in, you know, a nice little place. You know,
I-
New York,
Chicago.
New York plays in New Jersey, so no, but I mean,
Yeah, it's a,
but really, I mean, if you, I mean, yeah, the team really doesn't have the players that identify with the city of Miami, and that's the bottom line. The city of Miami is Latin players. The city of Miami, you know, you got to bring some Colombians, some Argentinians, some Uruguayans.
But how are you gonna do that?
Ecuadorians.
How are you gonna do that if you have
How you gonna do that?
part
Like,
owner David Beckham?
Exactly.
David Beckham is not Hispanic, dude. How are you gonna do that? Your coach is you.
No,
is
but
from
it's
the
not
UK.
David Beckham. It's a thing that people that are recruiting and making decisions. I don't think David is taking all these decisions because he's very open to the Latin community. Like, you know, I believe, like Danny say, instead of bringing a 31-year-old Ukrainian, just bring a solid 29-year-old from Colombia, Ecuador,
But we
Argentina.
tried. We brought in 2 Argentinian dudes, and we were second to last place in the league when we brought in Nico
That was the
Figal
first
and
year. And
González
those
Pires.
Argentinian dudes have some
But they
hierarchy,
didn't
you know?
perform here. They didn't right. Figal and González Pires didn't
Figal
perform here.
fueron
Then
a
they
Boca
went
y
up.
River.
Then they
Figal
went into
titular en
exactly.
Boca.
Exactly.
Well, Figal jugó hoy.
But how do you translate that? How do you translate that?
How
How
do you
can you
trans-
say that?
the
How can
common
you say that in the
denominator-
in the MLS, these guys had a terrible time, and then they go back to Argentina and play in the top 2 teams, and they perform well.
How common denominator? There's two words, one name. Phil Neville.
I don't know. Every time I go watch the team, you know, we keep the ball for a little bit and then they score.
You know what, guys? You know what? This is the year. Let's be positive. This is gonna be the year.
This is gonna be the year. This is gonna be the year with the 2 names that I'm about to bring out. The
There
2
you
names.
go.
that I'm
Okay,
about
you
to
say
bring
one.
out.
You say
So
the
you say one.
Ukrainian.
No, that one's already signed. That one's already signed.
Okay.
I'm gonna give 2
Okay.
names on this trip. This person that went to Europe to watch players, he made a quick stop in Barcelona and a quick stop in Roma. That's a little hint that I'm gonna give you. The first player that I want to talk about is from Roma. We're finally gonna get a solid center back. And this player
Roma.
that he went to see, I'm not sure if he actually played with Fernando. Did he play with Fernando? Maybe he played with Fernando.
The player? ¿Cuántos
Yes.
años tiene?
31 years old.
31.
Who are you talking about? Federico Fernandez?
He played in the glorious days of Manchester United. Champions League winner.
Smalling.
Is he a Champions League winner? Yes, he is.
Smalling?
Chris Smalling. He's one of the players that they
33
want to
tiene.
watch. 33,
No, but he's
player.
playing good, man. He's playing good.
Solid
Well, he was
player.
playing. Huh?
Very solid player.
Good
That's
player.
one of the players that they want to watch. One of the players that they're looking.
You don't need to watch
bring in.
Chris Smalling. You know?
They need to talk to him, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to
Watch
see-
him.
You have to see if he's
talk-
interested. You have to see if he's interested in, coming to the MLS. Like if he likes the project into Miami, if he wants to live in
Is that
Miami.
confirmed also or a rumor?
This is a rumor. They want to
Okay,
talk to
that,
him.
that would be a good signing. That would
They want
be,
to talk to him.
Yeah.
And the other
So,
player
but
that they
in
want
the
to stop.
summer, right?
He
the
played
summer,
today.
correct.
He played today against Napoli.
Napoli.
Napolis. Correct. That's one of the players I think that player could fix all of our defensive issues. You need a leader like that in the back.
And Roma plays 3-5-2, so if Neville wants to go that system,
correct,
he's used to that.
Correct. And the other player that they made a pit stop at Barcelona for, we already know his name. He's a midfielder, World Cup champion, European champion. Number 5, Sergio Busquets. I'm being told that Sergio Busquets, 75% that he's in.
When? In June?
June. 75%.
Well, that'll be a nice signing. That is the 5 that I think that we're missing.
Eso es lo que atrae, eso es el imán para ver jugadores así son el imán para ir armando el equipo. You know, once we confirm one of these 2 names, obviamente más Busquets, esos son lo que atraen un poquitito más de otros jugadores.
Vamos a ver si pasa. Ya no están mareando con tantos nombres.
The only issue that Inter Miami has right now is, like we spoke about, you know, the DP spots, you know, trying to bring in a few players down from those DP spots and be able to sign those 2 players that I'm telling you about.
And how about the youth? How about the fact that we are probably or arguably in the city with the most soccer talent? When are we going to start seeing those academy
players?
Acaban de subirlo al chico Benjamín Cremaschi, ¿no?
Cremaschi, no el argentino.
Cremaschi. Sí, Cremaschi.
Yeah, I
think he's a fantastic.
I think he's a fantastic player. The first generation of promotees did not perform to expectations.
A Ascona no le dieron oportunidad, viejo. O sea,
este es el 4º año. Hace 4 años están trabajando en Scouting Youth here.
Dame uno.
Los 17, el primer año, hace 4 años. Aquellos que tenían 17, 18, hoy tienen 21, 22. O sea, ya deberían haber. The first generation, Ascona, ¿quién más? Noah Allen.
Dijo, Filadelfia vendió como a 4.
El que se fue de Western, George Acosta. Se fue.
George Acosta también, sí.
No, pero
ninguno de esos se estableció. Edison, no sé qué pasó, le jugó 20 minutos 3-4 veces y no jugó más. Igual cuando jugó, la verdad, no se ganó su puesto. Noah Allen es un proyecto, hay que ver. Yo no lo vi muy sólido, la verdad, pero es un chiquilín joven. Me gusta que le den. Pero bueno, ya esa primera generación, los que el primer generation of scouts 4 years ago, we're not seeing them. We're going into the second generation.
Diego, yo creo que también deberían aplicar, creo que en la Liga Mexicana aplicaron hace unos años que tenía que jugar un jugador de la cantera ciertos minutos obligatorios.
Pero en México no, ¿qué? En México la 10.
No, pero viejo, si no le das oportunidad y pones a tipo espantoso, dale oportunidad por lo menos a los muchachos. O sea, si vamos a perder, si no vamos a jugar bien, dale oportunidades a los muchachos,
para hacer un equipo
sacarle provecho.
Con todas las restricciones chotas que pone la MLS, porque esa es la realidad. Si no, capaz que Jorge Mas se transformaba en un mega magnate y teníamos...
Sí,
un
florentino.
No MLS. O sea, nuestro competitive advantage es Miami, ¿no? Any good player, Busquets, probably would like to come here rather than Sporting Kansas City or Austin for, even for less money. So that's one of our competitive advantage to live here. And number 2 is the youth, because of course there's no restrictions onto what youth you can produce. We haven't produced any youth yet, and we need to take advantage of that. Otherwise, we're not going to be a big team. We're going to be a middle table to low like we have been these last 4 years.
Yeah.
Mauro, como presidente tesorero del club local FC Kendall, ¿cuánto tenemos para traer a Pizarro para liberar un DP spot ahí? Porque, o sea, un par de tacos, una Coca-Cola, algo ahí. Lo traemos y liberamos un espacio.
A Pizarro, si lo podemos llevar de nuevo a la Liga Mexicana, sería espectacular.
No, pero un equipo fuera de joda. ¿Quién fue? Había un equipo que trajeron un jugador mexicano, otro equipo, y promocionaban el partido de local contra ese equipo porque habían fichado un jugador mexicano. No me acuerdo que se fue con Kansas City, que firmó aquel, que era uno de Chivas.
Pulido.
Sí, Alan Pulido. Me acuerdo que iba a jugar a Houston y Houston promocionó el partido contra Kansas para que llegara Alan Pulido. Esos equipos, esos estados que es mayoría mexicanos, ¿por qué no podemos cederlo a un equipo y liberar ahí la mitad del salario? No sé cómo funciona, pero la mitad del salario, que pague la mitad y liberamos la mitad. No solo de Pizarro, estoy usando...
Acá los comments estoy viendo de la gente. Juan Schmidt tira un buen punto. Miami is a win now city. opportunities will be limited for the juveniles until we start winning and establishing the winning culture and expectation. I totally agree, but we're not establishing as a winning team. So why not become a team like FC Dallas that promotes their youth and don't care about being mid-table, just promoting youth.
Pero Mauro, para mí es al revés. Si vos estás ganando, el equipo está sólido, no le van a dar la oportunidad a los muchachos jóvenes si el equipo está ganando y está bien. Es al revés. Uno saca provecho de los jugadores como Sudamérica. ¿Por qué en Sudamérica se saca tantos jugadores? Por la necesidad. No pueden comprar. Entonces, ¿qué tienen que hacer? Traer los jugadores en la cantera con contratos súper económicos, con salarios mínimos. Entonces, y ahí es donde vos sacás al jugador, lo creás, y ahí es donde viene.
Pero yo creo que el Inter Miami no tiene ese formato. El formato del Inter Miami es tratar de traer jugadores con renombre, exacto, con renombre para poder ganar. Yo no creo que el Inter Miami va a ser un equipo donde en algún momento va a buscar llegar a darle la oportunidad a los jugadores jóvenes para que crezcan dentro de un espacio de 1, 2, 3 años.
Mira, uno de los mayores términos que no me gusta y no comparto en el deporte americano es el nombre franquicia. Para mí, franquicia lo único que me da es la estructura de negocio. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Esto sigue siendo un negocio. Yo creo que los hermanos más, porque que estaban ahí para gastar en el estadio, en todo, pagarle a jugadores para no sacar un provecho económico. Mentira. Denle oportunidad a los jóvenes. Sacás uno cada 2 años, lo vendés 15, 20 millones, traes otro.
¿Y qué equipo ha hecho eso?
¿Qué ha hecho? Bueno, lo que han hecho. Filadelfia. Mirá Filadelfia.
El Vancouver.
¿Cuánto pagaron recién por Paxton Aronson? ¿5 millones?
5 millones. ¿Y cuánto le invertiste?
Bueno, sí, no.
¿Cuánto le invertiste? Nada. Y te jugaron bien, los mostraste y tienen menos de 19 años y probablemente tienen alguna cláusula que si los vuelven a vender, sacan alguna comisión de ahí, como pasa en todos lados del fútbol. O sea, le dan oportunidad.
No tienen preparada para eso.
Todos los equipos.
Yo creo que esa parte va más por lo que está haciendo US Soccer como national team over what the MLS is.
Pero juegan, viejo. El Patterson juega. El tipo jugaba 17 años y 6 años, estaban jugando en MLS, nosotros no tenemos, y jugando de titular. O sea, siendo constante en los equipos. Nosotros si tenemos un talento, tirarlo a la cancha.
Un equipo grande. Yo soy acostumbrado, todos nosotros somos hinchas de equipos grandes, que en Miami nosotros el fútbol no somos una ciudad donde nos conformamos con el local team and doesn't matter if we win or lose. We are fans of football y queremos ver un equipo como la gente, eso no los da. Entonces la otra alternativa, bueno, entonces mostrame jugadores locales, jugadores que crecieron en los parques nuestros, que han jugado en KSP, que jugaron en Weston, en Miami Rush, en Doral, etcétera, etcétera, y tampoco lo estamos viendo. Y no te digo que no están tratando. Inter Miami está invirtiendo mucha plata en juveniles, y creo que sí saben que es una ventaja competitiva que tenemos. El talento que podemos sacar acá no es el mismo que puede sacar Indiana, o Kansas City, o Vancouver. Eso es una diferencial que tenemos. ¿Okay?
O Denver.
Sí, pero mira, yo te pongo esto. Y yo lo decía mucho en Twitter el año pasado, que si íbamos a perder o íbamos a apenas llegar a los playoffs, poné todos los juveniles. Y vamos a perder todos los partidos, pero por lo menos los juveniles le das un poco de movimiento.
Si no hay relegation, ¿qué importa? Dedicate
por eso.
But we already have
I would have played
5,000 fans going to the stadiums. If you do that, you have nobody going to the stadium.
And Nico, I don't care because I put Noah Allen every single game instead of putting Tim McVay. Instead of putting Tim McVay, who's not a left back, every single game at left back.
Well, those are coaching decisions. Those are coaching decisions. That's not saying that. We brought in a player from Europe that like Kieran Gibbs, for example, and he didn't work. We brought in Kieran Gibbs, and we haven't played. We haven't played a youth player because of him. You know, what you're saying is just coaches' decisions.
Yeah, but that's wrong. But that's where Chris Henderson needs to get involved. That's where Jorge Mas needs to get involved and say, hey, you're not going to play a center back at left back where he gives us zero projection up the field. You're going to put a young kid and you're going to give him as many games as possible. It doesn't matter because we're going to lose anyways. So you're going to at least let him play as many games as possible, give him as much experience as possible, and then who knows? Maybe you make some money off of him at the end of the year, and maybe not. But you know what? You're going to find out. One, can he play or can he not play? And two, if he can play, you're going to be able to sell him for a lot of money. And if he can't play, what happens? Nothing. You just end up losing games that you were going to lose anyways.
I feel like it just goes back to the first comment. You know, Inter Miami's project is win now. It's not building from the youth.
Well, I'll tell you, they're not. If they want to win now, they need to get rid of two words, one name, Phil Neville.
Viejo, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Seguimos, vamos a ir a lo del tema sub-20, lo de Europa, ¿qué vamos a hacer?
Acá
Inter Miami ya sabemos que ahí
lo de Europa para la próxima.
Viene fuego, lo de Inter Miami viene fuego, Eso ahí quema.
I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. We had a couple of other topics that we wanted to talk about. We wanted to maybe give us our top fives for the European leagues, and we wanted to get into the under 20. But I think it'll be better if we do that next week once we get into the final six. Now that we have the final six in the under 20.
What happened? I want to say something for everyone that is listening. La gente está pidiendo comentarios de la sub-20. And those of you that were listening to us, I'll give you a tip to make this hexagonal final more entertaining. You're going to follow 4 players. Luciano Rodríguez, el 9 de Uruguay. Remember that guy. Luciano Rodríguez. Después, en Venezuela hay un chiquilín de 16 años. O sea, está jugando 4 años abajo. Es desde 2006. Se llama David Martínez. Juega con la 11, flaquito. Titular en la selección de Venezuela, la joya. ¿Sabes cuánto dice Transfer Market su valor? $100,000.
Sí.
Juan Castilla, lateral derecho de Colombia. ¿Sabes dónde juega? En Houston Dynamo, U17. Y es una de las estrellas de este hexagonal, sudamericano. Y por último, Diego González, un zurdito paraguayo. Mucha calidad.
Muy bueno.
Esos son 4 jugadores que para seguir. Ahora que todos estos 4 equipos, Venezuela, Colombia, Uruguay y Paraguay, están en el hexagonal.
¿Y Argentina cómo le fue en el sub-20?
Argentina sigue celebrando. Argentina sigue celebrando.
Ahí va.
Bueno, David Martínez, Juan Castilla, Luciano Rodríguez y Diego González.
Muy bueno, Mauro.
Ahí están pidiendo saludos. Vamos a saludar a la gente que estuvo conectada a nuestro primer programa. Un aplauso para ellos. Muchas gracias por el apoyo. Tiene que seguir viendo, no solo de hoy.
Martín, Leo y Gucci.
Y Leo le pegó una patada. Yo creo que a la computadora le pegó una patada. Ahí se me movió la computadora. Estaba Leo ahí, una patada a la rodilla le dio a la computadora.
Bueno, gracias a todos que estuvieron haciéndonos el aguante.
Yo quiero preguntarle algo a Dani. ¿Qué pasó con el invitado que dijiste que iba a aparecer y no apareció nunca?
¿Qué pasó, Dani? Era de Inter Miami. Era Phil Neville. Siempre hablamos mierda de él, se fue.
No, Phil Neville es derecho. Este era zurdo. No te acordás, pero ese lo voy a guardar para
de los 2 hermanos nos sacaba uno igual, así que.
Y bueno. So next time we'll get that lefty on the show. I'll see if I can get to my contacts again and see if we can get him on the show.
We're gonna have a few guests that are gonna be top names.
So you're gonna want to stay.
I'm gonna give a little hint of the few players that we're actually gonna have. We're gonna have players that have played World Cups. We're gonna have people that have played Champions Leagues.
En equipo, nombrar equipos que han jugado en equipos recientemente y todo.
Equipos importantes.
Sí.
Inter, Barcelona.
Una cosa, ¿saben que Joseph Martínez es el primo hermano de Ronald? ¿Sabías vos, Jonah?
Sí.
Nuestro amigo Ronald, el arquero. Sí.
Yeah, they're good friends.
Eso lo vamos a tener acá, ahí sentado con nosotros.
Venga. And one special guest.
Trabajemos.
And we will have an MLS Cup champion as well. Another special guest.
Nice.
So big things are coming, guys. Big things are coming.
So
we're not just gonna sit around here and debate and talk banter, and sometimes you might agree with our banter or not. We're gonna have a few surprises in.
Yep.
We need to figure out a way to involve more the community, because there's a lot of important comments there and makes it more fun.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely make sure that we incorporate the comments more next time, and definitely, subscribe to our YouTube and subscribe to all of our social medias.
No, our Twitter. That's a good thing. If all of us, like those of you that don't have a Twitter account, make one and follow us, because every after every game, like Premier League, eliminatoria, we do like a how you
We'll
call
do
it?
a Twitter Spaces. We'll do a
Yeah,
Twitter
and
Spaces.
all of us can discuss. It's an instantaneous forum where everybody chats, and it's organized. It's awesome. It's a way to stay connected.
So absolutely. So that's all we have for you tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll keep you on the lookout for the next one. So good night from the bad guy.
Algo importante que no hablamos. Fue el clásico de Kendall, FC Kendall 3.
Vamos.
Redford 2, partidazo.
¿Volvió el árbitro de esa liga o no?
Sí.
No.
Dice que pregunta
todavía. Está haciendo notas.
Dice que no sabes cómo le quedó el zapato al tipo. Dice que el zapato del tipo quedó destruido.
Creo que lo encontraron, tipo, ¿no? Lo encontraron.
Sí, por suerte sí. La verdad que nosotros, Mauro, nosotros que estuvimos presentes, fue bien feo. Pero bueno, terminemos con una buena nota.
Stop violence.
Vamos, para tirar una de Europa. Vamos, Darwin, pensá a mojar, Darwin. Pensá, apunta al arco. Está como yo, Darwin. Mira para acá y la pelota va para allá. Vamos, Darwin. Vamos arriba, Darwin. Vamos arriba. Buenas vibras de acá.
Suerte, muchachos.
Señores,
nos vemos.
Saludos desde Medellín. Conectado de Medellín. Mañana vuelvo a Miami. Vamos arriba.
Saludos a la barra.
Cuídense.
This is football.